Hey, I'm Chris Wooley, professional headshot photographer. Today we're going to be looking at different clothing types. So what should you wear to your headshot session?
Chris Wooley.
Okay, so we decided we want to do headshots. Now we need to make sure that you're going to look good for them. Last thing you want to do is spend a whole bunch of money on headshots and not wear the right top or outfit and have it not complement you. So a couple of general rules that we can do is make sure that we have solid color and tight fitting. We want solid colors because we don't want to be distracted by busy patterns or logos or things. We want to be focusing on you, not on what you're wearing. So solid colors is absolutely perfect for that. Now we want to do tight fitting so that we don't have excess clothing hanging down. So tight fitting is important because it's going to show us what your actual body type is. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that we want to have it to be skin tight, but just don't want it loose and flowy. So a lot of people wear loose and flowy or baggy clothes because they want to hide tummies that might be a little bit bigger or imperfect body types. Don't do that though. Tighter fitting works better. Let your photographer work with you and work with the lighting and your body type to make you look good. But if you wear loose and flowy stuff, that's just going to bulk you up. So wearing loose and flowy clothing is a quick way to add extra weight, which we don't want to do. We want to show your accurate body type. For colors, gray works really well for just about everybody. I personally prefer darker grays like charcoal. It's just a deep tone and accents almost all skin tones really nicely. So dark gray works really well. If you're going for commercial work or that bright, happy, smiley sort of thing, blue is also a very powerful color. I tend to prefer more vibrant blues like peacock versus darker blues like navy. So we want that bright atmosphere that's going to help lighten up the skin tones and help pop the eyes. So gray and blue are really good complementary tones for everybody. Beyond that, there might be specific tones that work really well for you. So if you have a lot of reds in your skin, we want to avoid red. It's going to pull out those negative tones. So we don't want red. But green can work really nicely if you do have, say, red hair or you have green eyes. Green's a really perfect color for that. It can also work well for some people with brown hair too. Oranges are kind of hit and miss depending on what your facial type is and what your skin tone is. If the color looks really good on you, it's a good idea to bring it to your session. Your photographer can help you go through the clothing and pick out what's going to work best. I generally prefer to have a variety of necklines for both men and women. So one thing I'm looking for is being able to see the collarbones or the clavicles. Seeing that's a good indicator of body type, especially in a headshot. So if we have a collar that shows what those different body types are, that's a really nice starting point. I don't like to see all button-up shirts or all collared shirts. They tend to lend more towards the business side of things and can limit you on what your headshot can do. So bring one or two business shirts or shirts with collars, but don't bring them all. One of my favorite things to do is have a long sleeve t-shirt. It's very effective. It can be a good guy, a bad guy, very casual. It could have just got off work. It's a really nice versatile shirt. Just a long sleeve t-shirt, maybe a scoop neck, have a V-neck. So just getting some variety with those necklines, but solid colored t-shirts work well. My absolute favorite thing to photograph men in are Henleys, which is kind of like a polo shirt without the collar. So it's a t-shirt that has a couple of buttons up it. So the Henley has nice texture, so it's a little bit more visually interesting than a t-shirt. Works really well for almost all featured or character shots and gives us some variety so we don't just have those standard traditional necklines. Jackets can also be effective to bring too, depending on what your character type is. I'd bring maybe one or two jackets or sweaters so we have some variety with your headshot session, but don't go crazy overboard. A pair of jeans works really well for almost everybody too. It gives a casual sense and works perfect for the body shots. Unless you're like a bodybuilder or going for the traditional business look, a pair of jeans is perfectly fine. One thing with jeans though is we want to make sure that they're very nondescript jeans, so generic jeans. So standard blue jeans without any rips or holes in them are perfect. We don't want them to be designer jeans with a bunch of emblems or big logos on them. So keep it very, very neutral. Inexpensive blue jeans work absolutely perfect for doing the body shots. Avoid tennis shoes. So a pair of black shoes, flats, something like that, Vans, Converse, those are totally okay to do. Big white tennis shoes, just draw your eye down into the shoe, which we don't want to do. We want to keep it up here on where your face is. So make sure that you're having the appropriate type of clothing for what we're doing. For ladies, dresses work really well too. Just make sure that they are tighter fitting and that we don't have too much cleavage showing. Again, we want the focus on what's up top. not on what's happening everywhere else. So tighter fitting and not too much cleavage. So those are some tips to get you started on clothing choices for your headshots. Good luck!